Hi, I'm Stacy Skolton at AMO, and this is my video blog number 6. For this video blog, we had to do an interview of a coworker. Um, since I live in China, it was a little bit difficult because most of the IT workers here is a Chinese IT department, and none of them speak English really at all. So what I decided to do was interview my coworker who's from the UK. He has been hired to be a teacher, teaching oral English part time, but also working on the web design for the school. So basically, his job responsibilities include teaching oral English to the primary students and building a new website for the organization. But he also has to do photography for them because he's got a really nice camera, and he does other various miscellaneous tasks like transcripts, forms, slideshows, posters, you name it, he ends up doing it. In my discussion with him, it was actually, I did go and do a formal interview with him, but a lot of stuff that I come up with, even with this, is stuff that we talk about every day. He knows that I'm really into technology, and so we talk about it a lot each day and different things, since I have lunch with him every day. So here's what I got from my interview. One of the number one challenges for him is resources. Like, he doesn't have any money, he doesn't have an account. So if he wants to use any software or go buy anything for, working on the web design, he has to pay for it and then get reimbursed. And then he's not even sure if he's going to actually get reimbursed. So he said that's a bit of a challenge. And he said when he first started, um, they provided equipment for him, but the provided equipment was just way outdated. There wasn't very much software on it, and all of the hardware was old and outdated. He had to take and reconfigure the whole thing, and so that was very time consuming for him. The other problem that with the resources is that there's so many Chinese restrictions that it becomes very inconsistent. So he said all the scripts are in Chinese, which I hadn't even realized that the scripts were in Chinese, so that would make it even more challenging if you don't have the scripts in English. He has no translator or even translation software, so he basically has to use like Google Translate, and Google Translate, although it's fantastic, it's not, not very accurate on translating grammatically and stuff. So he's run into a few problems like that. Also, here in China, the sites can just shut down randomly. So you could be typing and working on it and, doing something, and all of a sudden the site comes up with a shopping site, and you're like, okay, great, I've been redirected to this shopping site. It's all in Chinese, and I don't know what it's doing, but yeah. So those have been some challenges that he's faced. I mean, a challenge that he's faced. Some of the solutions that he's kind of found to those challenges is that he's updated the software. He's been using what they call Joomla. I hadn't heard of it, but when he showed it to me, it does seem like a really easy system. Although he said that's created a few more problems because it is a little bit complex. But the Joomla is basically a content management system for websites, so it's helping him to kind of put it all on one page. I guess when he got the website, they had a website. The Chinese had been doing it, and like I said, with Google Translate, they had been using it, so it had kind of come off not very professional, and so the teachers really wanted, or the administrators really wanted, a very professional looking site where they can use it for recruitment and other things, and recruitment for both teachers and for students. Your money's in the students, and they want students that are quality students that will actually believe that they will be good teachers. And with a website that has grammar all incorrect, it doesn't put much confidence in the organization. So that was his main goal, is to make sure that it's updated with correct grammar. And um, he has done a lot of searching for open source software. He said, it actually, there's so much more flexibility with codes and databases and when he's getting the open source software. That way, they they'll be happy with implementing it. The administrators will, be happy and want to do it because it's free. It's always hard anywhere to try to get people to spend money, but especially here in China, like we don't even use email for the school. Like we are pretty much all, which is funny because we have projectors and projectors in every classroom, and they have computers for the kids to work on, but they have a computer lab for the kids, but then again, they don't even use email. Like they're still all paper, like memos, paper, everything. Like we asked if we could send in our lesson plans by email, and they said no, they need us to print it out and put it in this book. So um, you know when it comes to computers, he has to really make sure that he shows them that the money that's being spent is going to be a good investment, even more so than any other business. I mean, obviously, every business you want to do that, but it's definitely easier if you implement it if it's free. He also is in charge of the film club for the high school students at the school, and he said one of those solutions is, yeah, he uses the open source software. He uses the shareware and not actually Photoshop, because if he uses Photoshop, it costs money, and the school isn't willing to pay for it, especially for a club. The other challenge is that he has really no clear parameters. He says, the IT, like I said, the IT department doesn't speak very much English. It speaks very little. And he hears very little feedback from them after a project is finished. They basically, the direction he got was, we need our webpage updated, and that was it. And so he's like, he said it's been really hard because communication is distant and far between. But then sometimes they'll come back and say, "Oh, why did you put that in there? You're not supposed to do that," or that's not right. And he's like, "Okay, that's fine. I didn't hear anything from you though for weeks, so I just did what I thought was best." So I know that's pretty difficult for him. Um, his solution to that was that what he did was he researched other school sites and management sites, just to get some layout ideas. He looked at well-known universities and well-known school organizations just to find out um, what they were doing, what was effective and what wasn't effective, how to implement like blogs and stuff. Although they want him to do all the blogs, but they don't have, he has to take all the pictures, but they don't tell him what's going on, like what events we're doing, or, like he doesn't know what exactly is going on in our classroom. So it's been kind of hard because it's like he's supposed to do that, but he has to talk with us in order to do that. Yeah, and he was using forums for suggestions from other people that are in similar situations. Although he said it's kind of hard to find other people in the exact same situation, but he found people that were trying to do school sites and what their suggestions were and what they said to steer clear of, and so his solution was really to do a lot of research. The last challenge that he said was a big challenge for him was isolation. So in England, he did work on web design, but he had worked with a manager or a director client that was there telling him specifically what they want, what even colors to use and stuff. And now he's in an office. It has 4 desks, but he's the only one in the office, and it's kind of like shut off away from other people. And so, I mean, he's very far even from the the teachers that he works with us. He's kind of far away from us and stuff. So I know that that's kind of been challenging for him because he wants to run some ideas across us and just talk with us about them. But he finds it very difficult because he is so isolated. And like I said before, he'll do something for a really long time just to find out that he did it wrong, or that he needs to redo the work because they don't like how he did it. And so he's saying it's difficult to not have anybody to bounce ideas off of. Um, and the other challenge, I thought I was in the last one. The other one is just unknown cultural norms. Going back to just doing something for a long time, he had been working on, a graphic, and one of his, he said he had been asked to make a fire hydrant poster to show where the fire hydrants were, and he had worked really hard, but he had put like a green heading, and in Chinese culture, he didn't realize that the green heading has a negative or inappropriate for the Chinese culture. And so after working, for a couple of days on this project that he had been asked to do, it was like, oh, you need to change everything. And so, he's like, they don't really have specific ideas. And so those two are really tied together in that he would really like to have the specifics told to him before he does it. So, or even, and this was one I didn't know, and I've been here for 4 years, but black frames around photos usually means death. And so, like, he can't, any of the photos he takes, he cannot put a black frame around it. Well, we do that a lot of times just to highlight a picture or whatever, and that's a big no-no in the culture. So, this is his first time living in China, even though his wife is Chinese, and she's from this city, is very hard for him because, he doesn't know all about the culture. I don't think you're ever going to know all of those. And those are ones that you probably wouldn't think about telling people. So he had some suggestions to improve the school. I said there's no email. He was trying to get some kind of intranet service for all the workers and email communication of the workers, just because it's a lot easier to have that translated right there for English or Chinese, and make it for all of us. And that way that your employees are getting on. We have internet at the school, so even if they don't have internet at home, they could check it at the school. And so he's really pushing that, and I'm helping him with that to try and push it as well. I didn't learn a whole lot in the sense that I talked to him all the time. I did learn about the black frames around pictures, but one thing that really struck me was I will always have more to learn about the culture. And doesn't matter where I am at, you're always going to have more to learn about it. And I was just reminded again that you can't really change a culture, but you can help improve the relationships between the two cultures and try to make it work better. I mean, he has to figure out how to blend the American or Western culture with the Chinese culture. So it was a good little lesson. I don't think I would actually really like this role. I like teaching, but I'm also really passionate about helping improve technology and getting it integrated into the education system. So, I don't know if I would like the web design part of it, but I would like a position kind of like he has where he gets to teach, a couple of hours during the day, and then the other times he's in the office working on technology. And so, that being said, my ideal role would be like a technology specialist at a school, even our school or another school, where I'm helping teachers implement technology into the regular classroom. We're helping the organization get updated with their use of technology and really utilize technology in an effective way that the students are learning. And I'd also want to be supporting teachers that are in the regular classroom to help them find those resources that are very user friendly and teach them how to use it. So that would be my ideal role. We'll see if it happens in the future. I think it can pretty easily now. But that was my interview. Thanks for listening, and I'm done.